just going to be looking at details of like A, hand fighting when we're on the back, and B, redirecting ourselves so we're not in a worse position to be choked, okay? So, first thing, a lot of times people are going to be hiding the choking arm here. Reason being, switch again please. The choking arm's in front. This is totally exposed for me to get leverage over it, okay? So, that's one of a few different reasons the choking arm is usually going to be on the bottom, all right? Now, I still want to get control of it even though it's on the bottom. So, just like when we control a lot of different things, I want to have as much leverage as possible, right? So one of the big mistakes people make here is they grab up really high here. This can be okay sometimes, but if he's good at putting hands in the collars or going to rear naked chokes, that doesn't stop his wrist and forearm from shooting up to the neck, right? So typically I want to be down here like I'm grabbing a baseball bat, right? So if his hand's exposed, I will go as low to it as a knuckle grip here, okay? And then my other hand, I'll grab the wrist, okay? If Ulysses is lower on his hand and I just can't find that hand, we'll just go as low as possible as we can here, okay? Now, we want to grab this with intention, okay? Even though this is better leverage and a better grip here, what I want to do after this is I actually want to pull this down and I want to keep it really tight to my chest, okay? Essentially, guys, you just want to keep this arm as far away from your neck as possible. Control the hand, control the wrist, pull down, and then nice and tight here. For somebody, you don't stay down here with the expectation that you're going to straight on the arm, curl your arm. Yeah. Okay. We always look to go to the end of the lever here. Maximum leverage. This is exactly what you're doing to this person's choking arm right now. The first part of a back escape takes you out of the strongest alignment of the back, which is directly going to feed into a rear naked choke, okay? So focus primarily on our shoulders right now, okay? Our shoulders are parallel. Whenever this is the case, our shoulders are parallel, his chest is on my back, it's the perfect angle to lock up a rear naked choke, okay? So go ahead, just one time, just for a visual. Yeah, perfectly aligned, okay? Now, let's take a look at when we take that out of alignment, all right? Now there's really two main ways you're gonna do this. You're gonna turn this way, which is gonna bring your belly to the mat, your chest to the mat, or you're gonna turn this way, which is gonna bring the back of your head and your shoulders to the mat, okay? Typically gonna encourage you guys to do the latter first, because the more you hide your back, the more your back is on the floor. Typically, the harder it is for him to take your back again, okay, or stay on your back. All right. So let's look at that first. We're here. I'm engaging off my toes. Okay. Now, this is the biggest mistake I see with this, aside from people not bridging like this, is they go right to try to moving their whole body past the person. But if his hooks are tight, he's pinching nice and tight, his head's forwards, as you're never going to get your back to the ground just by wiggling like that, right? So really the key to making this all fall apart for him is to move your head first, okay? So I'm really going to encourage you, regardless of what side you fall to take your head and drive the back of your head to the floor first, okay? Now if he holds on tight, see, it's a lot easier to move my hips. Not only that, let's think of the focus this week, which is not getting choked, okay? Not a very good bite there, huh? So, it's really the first thing we want to do. All right, now I'm going to start walking out. A lot of times here, whether he knows he's losing the position or his legs are just short or he's not good at this, it's going to be easy to step around, okay? However, not everybody's going to let you do that. He's going to fight to keep this in. Guys, at this point, especially with that visual I just gave you of him trying to lock up the choke, it's not inappropriate here to take the same side hand off and remove a foot with your hand, okay, just so you can get your leg out. Now from here, we're gonna put our back on the ground, okay? Now we're doing pretty good. Just for good habits here, you don't wanna stop like this. He's gonna go to the next position, okay? So from here, guys, we're gonna really chamber this with our mount escapes. As he starts to come up, I'm already ready to frame on this leg. Start to turn in, okay, we can go to things like half guard, you can pummel under, go to butterfly, go to single leg up, X. Guys, here, we're gonna drive him to one side. You guys can really pick the side, it's up to you. Okay. So I'm not just moving my head. You guys see my feet? I'm making a strong bridging motion here. Okay. If his legs are short, he's not flexible, or he's just not doing a good job, yeah, you can a lot of times just pop your hip out. But if he's staying tight with this foot and you're moving, you're like, man, I just can't get out, guys, it's okay to use your hand at this point. Okay? I'm going to start to walk. He's going to start to face me. Okay, at this point, we can look to start to recover any sort of guard we want. This is also when we start to look to go belly down. Okay, it's typically going to serve as sometimes a decent response to getting body triangle too. Okay, you'll see this a lot for that. So from here, we're engaging the same movement. Okay, whether it is a body triangle or just a situation where we can't move our head and our back to the mat, what we can look to do here instead is start to split our legs. All right, just like we do for arm bars and arm triangles. So from here, on the side I want to escape, I'm going to kick that leg through and bring the other leg over. Okay, now let's talk about changing the angle for the choke like we did on the last one too. Right here, he still has that good angle. What I want to start to do right away, and this will be easy because this is the way we're going anyways, so I want to start to drive my head this way. Okay, so now if Ulysses starts to lock up, see, not the best spot to lock up a rear naked choke. Okay. So from here, as I drive my head through, I'm going to start to look to go belly down. Okay, we're essentially just going to keep rolling here. So as I go belly down, I'm going to start to turn to my other side. He's going to follow me. I continue to turn until I start to face him. Okay? Pretty common. All right, so we're here. Okay, can't get my back on the ground. I can't do the first one, or maybe you just prefer this one more. Okay, it's very common. You'll see a lot of good people use both of these. Okay, so here, head goes through. Don't stop spinning until you're facing him. Okay? So we're practicing this as if it's a back escape right now. Okay? And fundamentally, both of these are. All right? Now, if he starts advancing towards a choke here, okay, he starts to lock up. Okay? We can use these on top of some of our back defenses here. Okay? Assuming he's not just doesn't have me dead to rights here. Okay. He'll tell you that's extremely hard to move on to or hold on to if I can misalign my body there. So from here, we talked about this in the basics class. Okay, like what is he going to start to look for from here? Okay. There's more advanced things like trapping hands. We'll probably get to that more when we do actual back escapes, okay? One thing people are gonna do right away is he's gonna take this top hand and he's gonna start stripping grips. Yeah, okay, this is bad, okay? I still have a good ability to trace and hold on to this arm as I hand fight here, but his ability to bring this up is definitely now stronger. I only have one hand on this, okay? So, this doesn't necessarily mean, though, that as this arm comes up, you guys are going to be put in a really tight rear naked choke right away. Sometimes, but not every time. Okay? So really what we want to focus on here, on top of the hand fight, is head position. Okay? If I start to bring my head more this way, it is going to get a deeper bite. Okay? There's always going to be an opening here. All right? As he brings his arm up, I'm always going to look towards that opening. Okay? As I do that, okay, I want to be shrugging my shoulder, and there is some degree here where you guys do want to tuck your chin, okay? It's true that like you don't want things like tucking your chin to be your primary defense. That's when you're going to get your face choked. But it is a good detail to supplement actual escapes, okay? So here I am going to be doing that, okay? And you can do that as early as defending the seatbelt as well. Now, once we get here, I'm going to look for that grip again where I cover his hand, okay? And I'm going to start to strip, okay? Sometimes if we're able to, we can get the thumb and peel. If it's ever not there, there is almost always an opening between the thumb and the pointer finger. We can just hook into the knuckles here. If you're in like the camera spot, you shouldn't be able to see his hand when you do this. That's how you know you got the right bite. Strip, hold down, and hold on to this, okay? Now let's turn this into a bit of a drill, and a lot of people are gonna do this to you guys, okay? There is a certain point here where it's like, okay, I can't choke with this hand. I'm gonna remove the underhook hand, and I'm gonna try to choke with the other hand. Okay, that's when we're gonna go the other way, strip, and now we have control of the hands. He starts to go to peel my hands, he starts to attack the neck. I shrug up, I clear his hand, he goes to the other side, I look towards the choke, I shrug, I clear his hand. It would be very, very similar to winning the defensive battle here, stripping, and then controlling his hands, and then coming out. So essentially this time we're gonna look at if he goes a little bit further, which is basically gonna be like a single arm rear naked choke. Okay, so here, all right, starts to peel. Okay, let's say he does get this arm through. Okay, and he gets his head forwards. All right, his head being forwards is a problem for multiple reasons. Okay, watch, if he keeps it tight, look, even if I shrug my shoulder and turn, either direction, I'm locked in place here. This isn't good, okay? When his head's forwards, it takes a lot of time. Sometimes you won't even be able to pull this hand out, okay? So really the next thing that's gonna happen here is he's gonna start to pull this arm out. Now, we wanna slow that down, all right? I don't wanna stay loose here and just let him rip it out and do it on his own accord. Okay, I want to be able to time this. So we talked about hand fighting. We talked about tucking our chin. We talked about using our shoulders. Okay, now let's talk about using our elbows. Okay, when he has an underhook, again, this is one thing that people rely on a little too much without intention, and it's just pinching his arm in place. Okay, the intention here is to slow down this arm so I can track it. So when he goes to pull this out, watch, he has to like shimmy it out. And when it actually does come out, go ahead, I can catch it, okay? For now, I'm gonna use the same side hand. It's not wrong to use the cross hand, okay? Just to stay in uniform for how we're hand fighting right now. And watch, from here, it'll be easy to go right back to the last grip and do the same thing. We're trying to beat the habit again of like when he pulls this arm out, doing it, yeah, go ahead, right here. Okay, you just made this very low percentage by letting him get this far. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. Okay, we want to do it when it's over here. All right, so grabs here, okay, I pinch, okay, he's got to saw this out. Now when I'm ready, I can catch, okay. There is an element here where at a certain point he has to move his head so he can get this in. That's when I'm going to start to look for this and catch it. Okay, one, yeah.
This might be a stupid question, but can you kind of, if he moves his head to go in, can you use your head to kind of block it to maybe get an extra second to grab it? Is it
block his hand?
To use your head to kind of block his hand, yeah.
I would not recommend.
I mean, not just to kind of defer like a second just to grab the hand.
Like this way?
Yeah.
I would use that more if you're gonna intend to use the misdirections from
Gotcha.
the beginning of class. Because watch, the hand's very narrow. If he comes in here, and you just, it's gonna slide through.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would primarily recommend that you're ready to just catch it.
Okay.
Go ahead. But you are onto something there. Like, I wouldn't say you use the head in that direction to stop his hand. I would say use the head in that direction to put all these aspects together.
Okay.
Because your head's going to go that way to escape too.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work really well with this. Drill. Guys, if this is ever coming in, okay, whether it's a little further past what we did before or a little tighter, and you can find space to get this, yeah, pull it down if you can. But again, the purpose of the last drill is if you cannot find that hand. Okay, if he shoots that in tight, he gets his head forwards, he hides it, and you're doing this while he's pulling this out, your focus was in the wrong place. So he locks up. Right away, we need to stop this elbow from dropping by posting on it, okay? If he can't drop this elbow, okay, try to squeeze. It's really hard for him to finish here. But once he drops it, go ahead. Yes. All right, that's okay. Do it again. All right, now this is good. This is a great start, but you know, where do we go from here, right? Now, this is what the point I was trying to make as the class goes on. This is where you need to start doing everything else, okay? You can't just stay here and pray that he lets go. Okay, there's a lot of submission defense like that, and it's just not sustainable, okay? So from here, again, this is where we can start to add the positional elements, where we start to misalign here. You guys see, as I move, my voice is getting clearer, this bite is getting looser, and actually the longer he holds on, positionally it puts him at a disadvantage because his arms are preoccupied. Okay. Is if we get into a positional battle while he's holding on to a submission like that, and he knows he's going to lose it, his priorities are now in the wrong place. Okay, so now he can't stay ahead of the scramble, if that makes sense. Okay, I mean, how many examples are there? How many times have you guys been rolling? You get a submission, but they start working an escape. You hold on to it too long, and then positionally you end up on the wrong side of the scramble. This is an example of that. Okay, so one more time. He locks up. You have to get this elbow before he can put it in front of your chest. Okay, or else you're pretty much done. Okay, here. Start to regrip. You guys can play with and choose if you want to put your back on the ground or if you want to go belly down.